Hello students, now in this video class we are going to discuss about 11th standard computer science chapter 8 iteration and recursion. In the last video class we discussed about what is meant by iteration and what is meant by invariant and what is meant by loop invariant. Now in this class we are going to discuss about what is meant by recursion. Recursion is similar to the iteration, but recursion is more powerful when comparing to the iteration. Okay, now you can see what is meant by recursion and how this can be implemented in problem solving techniques. Recursion is an algorithm design technique closely related to induction. It is similar to iteration but more powerful. So what is meant by iteration? We are repeating some set of statements again and again. Okay. If you want to do the same process again and again, then we can use iteration technique. Okay. Recursion is also similar to the iteration. Using recursion, we can solve a problem with a given input by solving the instance of the problem with the part of the input. In recursion, we are using the part of the input to solve the problem. Okay, we are now taking the whole input at a time. We split a input into small inputs. That is, we are processing the part of the input and give the solution of the given problem. Okay, now you can see one example. Customers are waiting in a line at a counter. The man at the counter wants to know how many customers are waiting in the line. Okay, so in this example, the customers are waiting in the queue. The counter man want to know how many members are standing on the queue. Okay, so for that, how this problem can be solved? Now you can see the picture. How many customers are standing? Totally 5 customers are there. That is customer A, B, C, D, E. 5 customers in the queue. Okay, the customer counter man wants to know how many members standing on the queue. Okay, so the counter man asks the first customer standing in the queue, how many members standing on the queue. Okay, so the first customer ask the same question to the next person, that is customer B, how many members standing behind in the queue. Okay, so second person is again ask the same question to the third person, and then third person is asking to next one, and then next one is asking to the next one. That is at last the customer E receive this question, and then they say they see our backside there is no more customers are there, so they will give reply to the customer D, I am only, that is one person. So next person D is calculate himself is 1 and E 1 plus 1 is 2. So it give the answer 2 person standing in the queue to the customer C. And then again C calculated by already 2 person plus 1. So totally 3 persons standing on the queue gives this answer to the person B. And then again B, the customer B is calculated 3 plus 1. So 4 customers are standing in the queue, and then this answer is given to the customer A. And then A calculate the length 4 plus 1. So totally how many persons are standing in the queue? 5 persons. Okay. So the customer A give the reply to counter man. Totally 5 persons are standing in the queue. So here you can see the length of the queue can be calculated by dividing the problem into small sub problems. Okay, and then finally only it give the answer 5. Okay, so that is, instead of counting the length himself, he has customers A for the length of the line with him at the head. Customer A asks customer B for the length of the line with customer B at the head, and so on. Okay, so when the query reaches the last customer in the line E, since there is no one behind him, he replies 1 to D, who asked him, and then D replies 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 to C, and then C replies 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 to B, and then B replies 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 to A, and A replies 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 to the man in the counter. Now the counter man knows total number of persons standing in the queue is 5. Okay. So now you can represent the recursive process for the same example. That is, A recursive process, let us represent the sequence of 5 customers A, B, C, D and E as within square bracket you just represent the customers A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D, comma, E. The problem is to calculate the length of the sequence, okay. So what you want to calculate, you have to find the length of the sequence. Let us name our solver length. If we pass a sequence as input, the solver length should output the length of the sequence as 5, okay. So solver length breaks the sequence. So what it will be really done? The customer A passed the question to B and then B is passed to C. Like that we are moving the questions to the last person, okay. So how they are? They are splitting the question, they are splitting the length by 1 for each sequence, okay. So into its first customer and the rest of the sequence. So first total number of customer is A comma B comma C comma D comma E is equal to A. So first customer A is comes out, and then what is the rest of the customers in list? B comma C comma D comma E, okay. To solve the problem recursively, so what is meant by recursion here? We are repeating some process again and again. We divide a problem into sub problems, okay. How the sub problems can be look? It is a very small problems. We can find the solution to this sub problems directly. You can give the solution to the sub problems, okay. So as input to a subsolver, which is another instance of length, the solver assumes that the subsolver outputs the length of the B, C, D, E adds 1 and outputs is as the length of A, B, C, D, E. That is A, B, C, D, E is equal to 1 plus length of B, C, D, E. So each solver can divide a problem into small sub-problems. So receives an input, passes an input of reduced size to a sub-solver, okay. So first the customer A receives an input A, B, C, D, E, and then what it can be done, it just pass this input to the subsolver. So it reduces the input, it comes out A, B, C, D, E alone, it's into the second subsolver. So receives the solution to the reduced input from the subsolver and produce the solution for the given input. So at last the same question is passed to the customer A. So customer, what they have to do, they find the solution to the sub problems 1, okay. So it gives the solution to the sub problem 1 to the customer D. So like that all the customers are combine all the solutions of the sub problems and give the solution to the given problems, okay. Now you can see the figure. One instance of a solver in a recursive process. So input, total inputs are passed to the processing and then these inputs are reduced. And find the solution for the reduced input and give the solution to the given input, okay. That is, a problem can be divided into sub problems. Find the solution to the sub problems and combine all the solution to the sub problem and give the solution to the given problem. This type of process is known as recursive process, okay. So now you can see the input received, the solution produced by each solver. Each solver reduce the size of the input by 1 and pass it to the subsolver, resulting in 5 solver. This continue until the input received by a solver is small enough to output. So how many times this repeating can be done? This repeating can be done. At last we get the small sub problems, okay. That is, the solver can directly find the solution to that question. The last solver received E as the input. Since E is small enough, the solver outputs the length of E as 1 immediately and the recursive steps, okay, recursion stops. Now you can see the diagrammatic representation of this problem, okay. So first, what is the input is passed to the process? It can pass A, B, C, D, E. For each and every level, it can be reduced to 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So see the next level B, C, D, E. That is A comes out. And then the same inputs is passed to the next person. They will reduce 1. That is the B can be come out and it takes only C, D, E alone. Okay, and then D, E, E. So give the solution, the customer E give the solution as 1. So this solution can get the customer D. So D plus E, that is D 1 plus 1, it gives the length as 2. And then C is calculate 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So it gives the input to the next level. So 3 plus 1, it gives the output 4 to the customer A. So customer A calculate 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. So this type of dividing a problem into more subsequent, more sub problems, more small problem is known as the recursive problems, and find the solutions for each and every level and give the solution to the given problem. Okay, so this type of processing is known as the recursive process. So now you can see the steps involved in recursive process. First we can pass the input length of A comma B comma C comma D comma E. So and then A comes out, so 1 plus length of B comma C comma D comma E, that is rest of the input. Again next level B comes out, so 1 plus 1 plus length of C comma D comma E, and then next again C comes out, so 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus length of D comma E. At last D also comes out, so 4 1 plus length of E, and then length of the E is 1. So again it calculate 1 by 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so this type of processing is known as the recursive process. Okay. Recursion problem solving. Each solver should test the size of the input. If the size is small enough, the solver should output the solution to the problem directly. If the size is not small enough, the solver should reduce the size of the input. So in recursive problem, each solver check the input, whether the input is small or large. If the inputs are large, then solver divide the inputs into small one and find the solution to the small input directly. Okay, and then it gives solution to the next subsolver to find the solution of the given problem. So solver's algorithm can be expressed as if the sequence has only one customer. So in this sequence only one customers are there, then otherwise the size eventually the sub problems become small enough to be solved directly without recursion. Okay, so therefore a recursive solver has two cases. So each recursive problem it has two cases. One is base case, another one is recursive step. So base case means the problem is small enough to be solved directly. Output the solution. There must be at least one base case. So what is meant by base case? The problem is very small. So in the first problem we discussed, number of persons standing on the queue, where it can be small one. The same question is posed to the customer E. It is a small one. The customer E directly give the answer as 1. Okay. So that is known as the base case. And then recursion step. The problem size is not small enough. So deconstruct the problem into a sub-problem strictly smaller in size than the given problem. Okay. So when the problem is not small, then we divide a problem into sub-problems. Okay. So call a subsolver to solve the sub-problem. Assume that the subsolver outputs the solution to the sub-problems. Okay. Here the subsolver gives the solution to the sub-problems and construct the solution to the given problem. Okay. So each time each subsolver gives the solution to the sub-problem. All the sub-problem solutions are combined together to form the solution to the given problem. Now you can see the outline of recursive problem solving techniques is shown below. Okay, so here the algorithmic name is solver. We are passing the input. Okay, so solver within bracket input. If input is small means what it can be done, it shows the solution. Okay, so the customer E gives the solution as 1 because the input is very small. So if the input is small enough, then construct the solution. Else if the input is not small means you have to divide the input into sub problems. So find the sub problems of reduced input. And then solution to the sub problem equal to solver for each sub problem. Construct the solution to the problem from. Okay, solution to the sub problems. Whenever we solve a problem using recursion, we have to ensure those two cases. In the recursive step, the size of the input to be recursive call is strictly smaller than the size of the given input, and there is at least one base case, and that is when the recursive steps are take place, the size of the input are reduced each and every step. Okay. So at last the size of the input is very small. It gives the solution to the problem directly to the given problem. Like this known as a recursive processing steps. Okay. Now you can see the recursive algorithm for length of a sequence. So what is the, already specification, how to write the specifications of an algorithm. You have to specify the name of the algorithm and then input and the output properties. Okay, now you can see this algorithm. Here name of the algorithm is length. Length of S. S means sequence. Okay, so inputs, we are passing sequence of numbers. So the input is S. And then output, what you want to find? You want to find the length of the sequence. So length of the sequence, length of S is the output. If S is one customer, so the length is very small, only one customer standing on the queue, then it is considered as a base case. It gives the output 1. Okay, so in the sequence, in the queue only one person is standing, then the length of the sequence is very small. So this type of sequence is known as a base case. It directly gives the output 1. Okay. Else maybe the sequence is having more than one person. Then it goes on the else part. 1 plus length of tail of S. That is remaining sequence members. Okay. So the recursive step can take place. It can be repeated until the sequence is very small. Okay. Now you can see design a recursive algorithm to compute a power n. So we are going to calculate the power of the given number. We construct an iterative algorithm to compute a power n. An example, a power n can be defined recursively. So when the power is 1, if n equal to 0, what is the value it written? 1. Anything power 0, the value is 1. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to calculate the powers a into a power n minus 1. Okay. So now in this problem, we are going to calculate the power of the given number. A power n is equal to 1. When the value a power n is equal to 1, if the value of n equal to 0, anything power 0, the value is 1. So if we are giving some other values to n, then we calculate a into a power n minus 1. Okay. So you can see the recursive steps used for solving this problem. Okay. So recursive definition, power of a comma n. Here the algorithmic name is power of a comma n. And then what is the input property? N must be positive number. Okay. So that's why we are checking the condition n greater than or equal to 0. And then what is the output? What is the output you expected from this problem? We want to get the output a power n. That is exponent value of the given number. If n equal to 0, that means base case, that is the smallest input. If n equal to 0, then you get the output 1. Otherwise, else recursive steps can be take place. Okay. How we can calculate a into power of a comma n minus 1. The recursive process which solve the for calculating power of 2 comma 5. Okay. So in this book itself, they are giving one example, power of 2 comma 5. How this process can be done, now you can check it. The value of n is 5. Okay. So 2 comma 5, n equal to 5. So again it is used to reduce it. This is a recursive process. So we can reduce the power 1 by 1. So n equal to 4. And then again n equal to 3, n equal to 2, n equal to 1. When we get the value of n equal to 0, then it calculate the power. Okay. So it calculate the n equal to 0 means 2 power 0. What is the value we can get? 1. Again n equal to 1. So 2 power 1. 2 into 1 we get the value 2. Again 2 power 2 we get the value 4. And then 2 power 3, that is 2 into 4 we get the value 8. We substitute each solution to the each step we are substituting the solution of the sub problem and find the solution of the given problem. Okay. So first we are reducing the input level by level. At last we reach the smallest input, that is the value of n equal to 0. Then we can find the solution. So power of 2 2 power 0 is 1, and then we substitute this problem solution to the next level, we find the solution to the given problem. Okay, this type of process problem solving is known as recursive problem solving. Now you can see this description, power of 2 comma 5. How we can calculate? First we reduce the power by 1. So 2 comma 4, next 2 comma 3, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 2 comma 0. That is, we are multiplying the 2's. Okay, we get the solution 32. So we are dividing the problem into more sub problems, small problems, and solve the solution to the given problem. This type of problem solving is known as recursive problem solving. Okay, students, we discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you, students.